Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dalsan TV, Somalia's premier station for news and updates. I'm your presenter, Ifrah Noor, and now let's get into the top stories that made our headlines for the day. UK and Ethiopia initiate peace program to alleviate instability along Ethiopia-Kenya-Somalia borderlines. British Embassy in Mogadishu grants £4 million to Action Against Hunger Somalia for El Nino relief. United Nations Assistant Secretary General for Africa commends ATMIS. And lastly, Somalia under-15 team trumps Rwanda. Now let's get into the full bulletin. The British Embassy in Addis Ababa has joined forces with Ethiopian Foreign Affairs and Peace Ministries as well as the Somali regional government to launch a peace and security program dubbed Deriswanag, intended to bolster resilience against violent extremism in the Ethiopia-Kenya-Somalia borderlands.
The British Embassy in Addis Ababa has joined forces with Ethiopian Foreign Affairs and Peace Ministries, as well as the Somali regional government to launch a peace and security program dubbed Deriswanag, intended to bolster resilience against violent extremism in the Ethiopia-Kenya-Somalia borderlands. According to a press release sent to Addis Standard, the UK will commit £10 million over the next 3 years to the program, which will be launched on Thursday, November 9th, 2023 in Jigjiga, Somalia. Deriswanag, a Somali idiom that means good neighborliness, will concentrate on integrating national responses to insecurity, supporting conflict resolution structures, and aligning development.
Action Against Hunger Somalia has been awarded a £4 million bilateral fund from the British Embassy in Mogadishu to tackle the negative consequences of El Nino in south-central Somalia. Over the course of 6 months, the grant will offer comprehensive emergency assistance in terms of healthcare, nutrition, water, sanitation, hygiene, and protection to approximately 1 million at-risk Somalis.
The British Embassy in Mogadishu has awarded a bilateral grant of $4 million to Action Against Hunger Somalia. The grant, which has a 6-month duration, will be essential in helping nearly 1 million vulnerable Somalis in south-central Somalia who are affected negatively by the El Nino by providing integrated emergency life-saving support in the areas of health, nutrition, water, sanitation, and hygiene and protection. At the grant signing event held at Action Against Hunger's regional office, the UK government's commitment to aiding efforts to ease the humanitarian crisis in Somalia was expressed by Damon Bistro, Development Director at the British Embassy Mogadishu. Action Against Hunger Regional Director, Mr. Albert Semenyu, reiterated the group's steadfast dedication to meeting the impacted communities' immediate needs. He emphasized the importance of collaboration and collective effort to mitigate the devastating impacts of El Nino in the region. Action Against Hunger Somalia stated that the already difficult humanitarian situation brought on by the protracted droughts is expected to worsen due to the predicted flooding from El Nino. The floods may lead to the outbreak of diseases such as cholera and other waterborne illnesses. Furthermore, it is anticipated that the El Nino phenomenon will have a major influence on food production and agriculture, raising the possibility of malnutrition and food insecurity. El Nino after effects may exacerbate the pre-existing weakness which can result in conflict and population displacement in Somalia, increasing the risk to the health, nutrition, and safety of the impacted communities. The largest health and nutrition consortium in Somalia, AFIMAT Plus Consortium, will carry out the project. The consortium is led by Action Against Hunger and consists of 3 local and 5 international humanitarian groups.
A high-level United Nations delegation led by the Assistant Secretary General for Africa, Martha Pobi, applauded the African Union Transition Mission in Somalia for its contribution to peace and stability in Somalia.
A high-level United Nations delegation led by the Assistant Secretary General for Africa, Martha Pobe, applauded the African Union Transition Mission in Somalia, ATMIS, for its contribution to peace and stability in Somalia. ASG Pobe met with the ATMIS senior leadership, including the head of ATMIS, Ambassador Mohamed Al-Amin Souf, the force commander, Lieutenant General Sam Okiding, and Deputy Force Commander in charge of support and logistics, Major General Peter Muteti. The UN officials accompanying ASG Pobe included the head of UN Assistance Mission in Somalia, UNSOM, Katriana Liang, and the head of the UN Support Office in Somalia, Aisa Kirabo Kakira. The ASG said her visit is crucial to strengthening the collaboration between ATMIS, the federal government of Somalia and the international partners, and shaping Somalia's security situation after ATMIS exits in December 2024. Our role as a delegation is to talk to ATMIS, the federal government of Somalia, and see how the security transition can be conducted in a way that enforces or consolidates their gains that we have made. Great sacrifices involved, and thanks to the men and women who have played a role in this.
And lastly, dear viewers, Somalia under-15 team handed Rwanda a 1-0 defeat in CECAFA under-15 games. The CECAFA under-15 championship tournament kicked off on November 4th at Fufa Technical Center in Jeru, Uganda, and will conclude on 18th.
Somalia under-15 team handed Rwanda 1-0 defeat in the CECAFA under-15 games. The CECAFA under-15 championship tournament kicked off on November 4th at the Fufa Technical Center in Jeru, Uganda, and will conclude on November 18th. The 2019 CECAFA under-15 championship was the first CECAFA under-15 championship organized by CECAFA, the Council of East and Central Africa Football Association. It was held in Eritrea, and this was the first time in the recent unofficial international football tournament is staged in Eritrea. After the under-15 CECAFA Boys Championship, focus will turn to the CECAFA Under-18 Boys Championship, which will be held in the Kenyan town of Kisumu from November 25th to December 9th. The Pan-African School CECAFA Zonal Qualifiers will crown the 2023 when it takes center stage on December 10th to 15th in Nairobi.
That's all we have prepared for you, dear viewers. Kindly stay connected at Dalsan TV platforms, and we wish you a lovely evening.